Hey y'all, I'm James Roy, and this is my lovely wife Courtney,
Hi.
and this is the Noise Date Night Edition, a podcast where we review our weekly date night movie selections and give you the scoop.
Yep.
This week we watched Sing 2, and we will be reviewing that shortly, but in the meantime, we're going to have a conversation about Hawkeye, which is what we watched this week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bear in mind that if you're a loyal listener, please give us some input as to what to watch, and we will, if we've watched it, talk about it, and if we haven't, we'll watch it and then we'll talk about it. Tell you what we think about
We
it.
just like talking about
We like talking about
things.
media and stuff. So this is a short form of the main part of the podcast. So, Hawkeye, a 6-episode miniseries, part of the Marvel comic book universe.
Mhm.
I thought it was good. In the grand scheme of things, I think this is the kind of thing that you have to look at with the frame of like all that's going on in that part of the Marvel universe. And
Yeah.
when we compare it to like WandaVision,
Mm-hmm.
Loki, and Captain America Winter Soldier, it definitely falls in the same category as the latter in terms of where I would rank it, which is that it's
With Winter Soldier,
it's like a
it's
little
on that side.
it's on that side of the spectrum, but it's better.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
But
But is it better than WandaVision?
no, not at all.
No, it's definitely not better than Loki.
What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was really good, and since it's centered around Christmas, the good news is you can watch it every Christmas now.
Nice.
It is
It's
now,
like
in fact, a Christmas miniseries,
it's like the Die Hard of TV series.
like the 6 Days of Christmas.
No, but I guess
I thought it was really good though.
I guess maybe to like
It is more lighthearted and it doesn't have as much depth as like WandaVision,
yeah,
which does make WandaVision better because that to me the story is so complex in WandaVision, and it's like how in the world did they make that happen?
well, what's strange
And it
to
looked
me
that way.
is that like WandaVision and Loki had to be TV series, whereas I felt like what was it? Captain America Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Hawkeye, or was it Captain and Winter Soldier? I can't even
No,
remember
it's
anymore.
Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye
Mhm.
both easily could have been movies.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
100%.
Totally agree.
They just made it a TV series because they had to. Like upcoming, they have the She-Hulk is supposed to be a new series, and that I feel like should be a TV series because they're gonna have to tell a whole origin story. And when you're doing that, you don't want to do that in a movie setting. It's harder. Marvel's done it successfully with Shang-Chi,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not
But also
Not an ideal
unsuccessfully
situation.
with Eternals.
exactly.
So
Well, there's just so much going on in the Eternals, though.
okay.
But no, I guess to close out our discussion on it, let's do like one negative and two positives.
Okay.
So you can go first. Hit me with one negative.
I
and
would
then-
say one negative is it's very predictable. I think that you understand that who Hawkeye is and like the types of fighting that he normally does and the types of people he goes up against. And yes, exactly what you're thinking is exactly what happens in the series. Bad guys, head mafia guy.
except for the ending, which
Okay.
was also less than satisfying.
Yes. So that was my negative. I think that there wasn't really anything revolutionary about the series. I think it was very cookie cutter and cool.
Yeah,
Good things. I think Haley, what's her last name? Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
I thought she did great. She's perfect for the Marvel universe. She's very likable. She's very fun. She's very cheesy, which is like right up that alley.
No, yeah, I
and
agree.
like oddly enough, her and Jeremy Renner have really good chemistry. It's very weird
It was weird.
without having like
it was almost like it was the perfect
it was
amount
very
of.
like daddy daughter vibes though.
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't get
very
any
daddy-daughter.
creepy ones.
It wasn't romantic. It
No,
was like,
no, not at all. It was very daddy daughter vibes. That's the
no,
best
yeah.
way I can
It would have
describe
been weird if they had that kind of chemistry since
Yeah,
he's
and it
married.
makes sense because she doesn't like her dad died, so it works, and I think it's
Oh, yeah.
good. But yeah, I think she's the best part of the series.
100%.
And then also just that that it ties into other people in the universe. I think that's a cool part.
No, yeah, I agree.
So those are my two favorite things. Haley and how it ties into the universe as a whole. And the
Okay.
possibilities.
All right. My one negative is honestly, I felt like it was interesting to see that they essentially, from my view, correct me if I'm wrong.
I will correct you if you're wrong.
I know you will.
Okay.
But they essentially made the Black Widow movie
Mm-hmm.
in order to bring Yelena into the universe,
Yes.
just to have her play the role that she did. Don't get me wrong, her character is always likable, but her character was just weird in the set. It was weird for many reasons. It wasn't big enough, it wasn't small enough. It was just like the right amount of like size to be weird.
Yeah, it was a little forced, I think.
I feel that.
It was like a wedge that
It
they had to
was.
like really make it fit in there.
And there were so many other like more interesting storylines going on that it was just kind of like, okay. But my two positives, I agree with you. Haley Steinfeld, very best part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely
She did
fits.
great.
Definitely fits in the Marvel universe. And then my second positive is Vincent D'Onofrio. He plays Kingpin in the comic, or not in the Netflix series for Daredevil.
Yes.
And they brought him back, and I felt like he did a good job. I felt like, and honestly, the only other disappointment I have is that they're very unclear on his fate, but one can only assume a bullet at point blank range does things to even him.
Yeah, I mean, did it kill him?
Who
Is he
knows?
injured?
There's no real way to know. But
Yeah.
either way, he was a good and a bad. It was
Mhm.
strange,
Mm-hmm.
but no. Other than that, yeah, I guess that concludes our discussion on Hawkeye. But before we move into the meat of it, I guess, babe, how's your day going?
My day's great,
How-
We're back from Christmas break. The kids
Yeah.
are loving life at school.
Nice.
No, just kidding. Yeah, no, it's good. It's getting back into routine.
No, yeah.
Not ready to let go Christmas, but it's fine.
If you look to your right, you'll see our Christmas tree. Well, you won't. But I mean, if you could peek out of the camera and look to your right,
Yeah,
you would see it.
we
'cause
definitely
it's
still have our
up.
Christmas tree up.
But it's just you
Christmas
can't
forever.
let go. Courtney's rule is that her birthday is when we stop celebrating Christmas.
Is that what I said?
Well, you said that's when we're taking down the decorations, so I assume we're still.
The problem is that there's so many cute Valentine's decorations that I need to start
You might move on
transitioning. I might move on. We'll see.
Sooner. No,
How's your day?
my day's going well. I worked. I came home. I did man things like calling the Wi-Fi company to make sure the Wi-Fi works,
So manly.
and making TikToks like a real man,
Okay. Shameless plug.
doing calculus and studying my critical reasoning.
Ooh.
Critical reasoning, introduction to critical reasoning. What a
Mhm.
class.
What a class.
As you may or may not have guessed, I chose that class because I'm taking calculus and I needed a class that was not going to be hard. So
I would have done the same.
But on that note, I guess we'll get into our review of Sing 2.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this week we reviewed Sing 2, a movie that is a sequel that no one asked for but didn't know they needed. That's how I would describe it.
Did you come up with that?
Yes, on the fly, because I had a conversation going into the movie theater with my brother-in-law who was there, and I said, hey, did the other movie even set up a sequel? And he said, no. And I said, right? And then we came out of the movie theater, and I was like, I didn't know that I needed to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know because I've seen it, and I would highly recommend going and seeing it.
It's so good.
It's such a good movie. Do you have any deeper opinions on it, babe?
You feel like a good time? The music's great.
No, yeah.
The singers are great.
All I'll say is
Um,
Bono.
Bono.
Who'd have thought? Bono should get an
Literally,
award.
I cried. So it's exciting. It's fun. If you have kids, definitely take them.
100%.
Yeah, if you just want to feel like a kid for like a split second, just go.
Well, and honestly,
It's a
let's
feel good movie.
I mean, let's look at it. This movie's been out at the point that we released this podcast. So it's been out
Mhm.
about a month.
Yeah, it's
If
been
you
out a
have-
while.
If you have kids, how have you not gone and seen it?
And it's like one of those movies like I would buy for my children. If I couldn't have it on a streaming service, it'd be one that would be in the rotation for
It would
sure.
be in the rotation
Easily, hands down.
100%.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I highly recommend going and seeing it, and that's kind of our early views. So before we get any further into it, this is kind of the spoiler alert. Once again, we don't really do a full plot recount anymore. So this is kind
It's
of
okay, you can Wikipedia it.
this is kind of your look to be like, I've seen it and I'd like to hear their opinion on it.
Or I don't care about spoilers and I still want to know your opinion.
Yes. So
Or
at this
I
point,
don't know why I'm still listening, but I'm going to listen anyways.
it's time for you to make that decision. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. This is your practice in making quick decisions. There we go. Boom.
You're welcome.
Helped you out today.
You were this years old when...
I was today years old when I found out that listening to podcasts.
That's what it is. Today years old.
I was today years old when I found out that listening to a podcast past a certain point meant I was going to get spoilers. Here you go. Did it. Taught you today. So this movie can be divided into 3 parts. Here's the divide. That's going to be the opening part of our discussion.
Yes.
The divide is this. First part. The act is going well. As we know, we left the group off in Sing 1, and they had just gotten their theater back and performed for the whole town, and everyone loved it.
Yes.
How do you build on that? Well, there's a bigger town nearby that is basically the Las Vegas of this universe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're anybody, that's anybody, you perform there. So the whole first act kind of traces out them. They've got a talent scout in the crowd. They're trying to figure out, hey, does this town want us? The town doesn't want them, turns out.
Mm-hmm.
So they go, you know what? I'm not giving up on my dream. We're going to go over to this town. They go over to this town, and by way of not necessarily telling the truth and being sly and eccentric, the koala dude, who plays the koala dude?
Oh my gosh, Matthew McConaughey. How do you not know this?
Oh, sorry.
I know who plays everybody pretty much
Oh, yes. So
without even having to look.
Buster Moon, played by Matthew McConaughey. Who'd have thought? Once again,
Also, Chelsea Peretti plays
the voice
the
acting
scout,
top tier.
which is really funny.
Oh no, I thought I knew it was, I knew that was Chelsea Peretti. It sounded like her.
Oh yeah, totally her.
Kind of like Taron Egerton sounds like Johnny sounds like him. But anyway,
Because it's him.
so Buster Moon, you're everyone's your favorite agent's favorite agent manages to pull off the show, by saying that he knows Clay Calloway, who he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move into the second act. Okay, the second act features them putting the show together, and trying to get a hold of Clay Calloway, kind of trying to play it by ear, fake it till you make it. We'll just go out. He'll probably say yes. It's whatever. There's a lot of struggle, a lot of controversy. The Wolfman who owns the studio they're gonna play at, his daughter shows up and she's good at singing, but she's not good at much else. Anyway, not to get too specific, essentially they build the show, and then this part ends in like him being called into the office, and the dude's like, "I know you don't know Clay Calloway. You have until the show to have him here." And then we move into the next part. So you could kind of group the firing of Portia, who is this wolf dude's daughter, played by Halsey, being fired as the end of that act, really. But then we get into the how do you call it? It's kind of like the first movie where the show must go on. I don't care if we actually have permission to do this. We're going to do it anyway. It's basically a mirror of the first movie.
Yeah.
So same
formula.
They go, you know what? We're going to go behind their backs and we're still going to perform our show because we can.
Mm-hmm.
And they form a master plan. That's when you call back in Johnny's dad, who does security and stuff. And they go through this whole elaborate thing to put on the show. The show is well reviewed and everything goes well. There's a brief moment where Clay Calloway's there, but they're like, he's not going to go onto the stage. He's too scared. Is this moment too big for him?
Yeah.
And then he steps up and he crushes it because he gets help from
It's also played by
Ash.
Bono, so
Bono plays Clay Calloway, and I'll tell you,
of course he crushes it.
he crushes it. There were several points where I tried to find on Google who actually voiced Clay Calloway while Bono sang, but there was no proof that anyone but Bono did Clay Calloway, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
Because once again, throughout this whole movie, you see people that just sound entirely different from their normal voice. The only like I said, you could recognize that Johnny's Taron Egerton, Ash the porcupine is Scarlett Johansson. Even Mina is Tori Kelly, and Tori Kelly's not that big. She's big, but she's not big enough that I would recognize her voice in voice acting because she's more of a singer.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them you could I didn't know that Buster Moon was Matthew McConaughey.
Really?
No, I didn't.
That's so weird.
No, I had no clue.
When he says Mrs. Crawley, it is in the most Matthew McConaughey voice ever. Accent.
I didn't catch it. Did you know that Garth Jennings, the director of the movie, plays Miss Crawley?
Yes, I did know that.
Well, I do now. Just caught a hold of that one.
Okay.
But
and our Marvel crossover, you didn't even mention
I
that.
said Scarlett Johansson.
Okay, there's 2 Marvel crossovers.
Oh, and Letitia Wright. Yeah,
Yeah.
she plays Nushi. Which one's Nushi?
Oh my gosh, the street cat. I was the one who was like, this is the girl from Black Panther.
No, yeah.
And you were like, what's her name?
You had to
Oh my
point that out
gosh.
to me, and I was so mad when you actually showed me, and I
I
was
was like, the little sister. It's the little sister
I should have known that.
from Black Panther. Yep. She's in it.
But no, I mean, yeah. What else is there to say?
No, yeah.
Specifically, who played the big wolf dude? That's my question. I think
This
it
guy,
was
it's right here.
Bobby Cannavale. Yeah, that's who I think would play him. Jimmy Crystal. He
Mhm.
does a really good job.
He does.
I thought that Chelsea Peretti, like I said, was recognizable. Did a really good job.
Absolutely.
And then other than that, honestly, I thought Halsey did surprisingly well. This is like a movie where like
could not tell that was her voice, but I don't really know her speaking voice very well.
I know her speaking voice, and it just you can tell it's her speaking voice, but like with a Brooklyn accent, essentially. And that's sorry if I've culturally appropriated or offended any Brooklynites. That's like my best guess. It's somewhere in the region of
It seems
New York,
East Coast
New
style.
Jersey, somewhere in there.
Yes.
Maybe it's Pauly D. Maybe it's Snooki.
Who knows?
Somewhere.
We're not from the East Coast, so we.
It's from the Jersey Shore.
Oh, it's probably Jersey. We should look it
It
up.
might be. I don't know.
Again, interesting.
But I was surprised that she did so well. So I guess before we rate it and before we talk about budget and like ratings and stuff, I want to do again the 1 negative and 2 positives to kind of highlight our view of the whole movie. So I want you to go first. Kind of give me 1 negative
1 negative.
and 2 positives. It's hard to find a negative here. I know.
I really do like this movie. I think 1 negative would be that. Oh, you didn't even mention Reese Witherspoon, by the way.
Reese Witherspoon's in this movie? What?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, she plays Rosita. Okay. Well,
I think 1 negative is that, there is still some element of cheese in the beginning bit. I don't know. I can't really think of a negative.
well,
I think my negative would be that I didn't feel like Tori Kelly. What did she end up singing in the end? I don't
I
remember.
think it was a Rihanna song. I can't remember.
Or it might have been Ed Sheeran or something, huh?
It was that one. So Mina is the
The
elephant, right?
yeah.
So she had to sing the romantic song with.
Yeah, so she had like a way bigger storyline in the first one, which made me really like Mina a lot. So then in the second one, it was mainly about Rosita, Reese Witherspoon's character, and it was mainly about Ash, Scarlett Johansson's character. So they were like the 2 main ones, in my opinion. Which made me like, but what about Mina? And then I also loved Johnny in the first one, and he had a really big storyline in the first one. And so for Mina and Johnny to have kind of like side storylines, like not really life-changing ones, I guess because theirs was more life-changing. There were more life-changing in the beginning.
Yeah.
It just made me feel like, but I don't feel like I got to hang out with them as much as I wanted to because I loved them from the first one.
I feel that because I really like Johnny's character.
I love Johnny's character. And
Yeah.
I didn't feel like he sang very much. And I love his voice.
He did. He had his. There's nothing holding me
Okay,
back."
he's like the one on the preview, but that's it. That's the only one he got.
The only one.
And I love his voice. I would have loved to hear his voice a lot more. With that being said, best parts, definitely the fact that they come up with this random show to perform and write and create and design. And it's pretty crazy because the pig, oh my gosh, I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, which one is it? It's is it Norman Alfonso?
Oh, it's Norman. It's Norman, Nick Offerman.
Norman.
Yeah, Norman, when he comes up with the
How do we not mention Nick Offerman?
or is Norman
I don't feel
the
like
husband?
no. He might be.
I can't remember.
I'd have to look it up.
I can't remember what the pig's name is. Like the one that's
Maybe
like,
it's
out there.
it's Seth MacFarlane probably.
It's Nick. No, Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll.
Yeah, what
He-
part
he
does he
doesn't
play?
even show up on my. He doesn't even show up on my cast list on Google, which shows you how great Google's cast
Or
list
maybe
is.
it's Garth Jenny. Let's see. Whoever plays the other pig. Anyways, the fact that he comes up with this like show on the spot, I love that they literally go through the whole show for you in the movie.
No, yeah.
It's not like, oh, you just see certain numbers and then behind the scenes you literally see like the whole show. So that was one thing I loved. Second thing, that final performance with Bono and Ash, and it's on the preview in the trailer where it's like, and I
Yeah.
still haven't I mean,
No, and that's one of those
you know,
parts
you like
where
tear up in the trailer.
it's one of those parts that Scarlett Johansson blew
And
me
then
away
yeah,
because she
and
like
then you
actually sings.
see it in the movie and you still tear up. Like it's actually still just as impactful and just as good when you watch the movie. So that was my favorite part.
No, yeah, I agree.
Scarlett and Bono's like connection and their scenes together. Love it.
No, yeah.
Love that part. Okay, your turn.
So for me, the negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you on like the whole side story thing. My biggest thing is oh geez, I'm running a blank right now. No, my biggest thing is that like I'm having trouble finding a negative. That's the negative to me,
Mm-hmm.
is that it's just so good that I can't find like a negative thing. I had all this time while you were talking to think about it, and I was just like,
His name's Gunter.
Gunter. Okay.
Nick Kroll. So
Nick
Nick
Kroll.
Offerman, it plays Rosita's husband though. Norman is Rosita's husband. I did know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That
Okay,
makes
cool.
sense.
Sorry.
I guess my biggest negative,
Mm-hmm.
let me give it, is I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. I guess I agree with you that Mina's storyline is a little small, and then they kind of tried to play like this love story between
Yeah.
her and the one dude, and it was just so small. They
Yeah.
didn't like expand. Like I wanted to know more about what was going on in that,
Mm-hmm.
and
Or
I
like
just
yeah,
didn't get anything.
or more interaction.
There was
or-
like minor interactions, and then after the show, she's like, "Hey,
I mean,
I'm Mina," and then nothing else. That's it. It's all done.
That's it.
Positives, number one, right off the bat, Bono. Bono's great. Once again, I think he should get an award for his role.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I thought Scarlett Johansson did really nice at stepping into playing Ash in a bigger role, because in the last movie, Ash kind of was one of the ones that had a side story
Mm-hmm.
where it was like my boyfriend left me and
Yeah.
rock and roll and stuff,
Mhm.
whereas like hers was more like I'm the one who's rock and roll, and I kind of connect us to Clay Calloway.
Yeah, well, she's the only one that became like famous after the first one,
Exactly.
basically.
No, yeah. So those were my two positives. So I guess we'll get into ratings. I've got a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
I mean, that's
Rotten
kind of good.
Rotten Tomatoes hit 71% and Metacritic 49%.
Yeah.
Before we get into our negative Nancy, let's talk about the box office on this movie. It made 190.8 million.
Wow.
I don't have what the budget was, but there it is, 85 million. So this movie was a box office success.
Mm-hmm.
And
It helped that it had a Christmas release too, because everyone's on break.
no, yeah, that's
I know
ideal.
when I came back to work, everyone was like, I got to see Sing 2. I got to Sing 2. So pretty much every student in my class saw Sing 2.
No, I
over
can
Christmas break.
imagine. But yeah, December 22nd release was perfect for this movie. It was contending with Spider-Man a little bit, but I feel like it's different audiences. Like
For sure.
there's a little overlap there where like you're old
Mhm.
enough that you're like super into and can actually go see a Marvel movie,
Yes.
and like you're into Sing 2,
Yes.
but like once again, it also has adult appeal too,
Mm-hmm.
as you can tell by us two adults reviewing this movie.
Yes. No shame.
But let's get into our negative Nancy bit. So
All
this is
right.
where we look at the 1-star reviews and try and find some poetry in it. So let's see it.
Here's the thing. There weren't that many 1-star reviews.
Oh geez, how many? Can you count it on one hand?
7.
2 hands.
I
Ooh,
rated it 1.
we can get
Which
through
is
all
cool.
of them.
Yeah, let's get through all of them. 1 star. A Buster Moon production with a big time talent scout from Red Shore City in the audience. Okay, that looks like it's just recounting the plot. And then finally it says, Moon's updated musical version of Alice in Wonderland wasn't enough to impress the scout, but Moons would know. I mean, that's
That's
I
the whole
I
thing?
don't get it. It just kind of basically tells you the whole first scene of the movie. There's so much more. I hope they didn't walk out after the first scene.
I know, right?
Next one, okay movie. But for most of the songs, they kept singing the chorus. I mean, that's okay, but it doesn't really get the whole focus of the main song. I don't think they understand, like, the songs aren't necessarily driving the movie. It's not like a musical, per se. It's like about people singing.
Some people just don't like, I don't know.
Did they think this was like Les Mis, where they're like, have to speak the dialogue and their feelings, you know?
No, yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Not worth the money to see it. The movie felt forced with the humor and jokes. There was maybe a handful of chuckles throughout, and the music was awful. Well, they misspelled awful. Seriously, a movie about music released in 2021, and the best they can do is using songs by U2? Well, I don't think it was necessarily highlighting all songs of 2021.
Yeah,
So, but that's the whole point, is that he's like a classic, and they're bringing him back.
Did they know that Bono is from the? They must have read the cast list and know that it would like there was going to be
Like
a
he's like a
song.
lead singer, and he has not come out, right? Or has he come out with stuff recently?
U2's been making me. You know, back
Okay.
in like 2013, they
They
dropped
were
a
just, like,
whole album
cranking out.
in everyone's iTunes.
Yeah,
They forced it.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you have to go back to their main stuff. Would have been better
Yeah.
if the musical numbers were more current. What are they thinking? Like Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo? I don't really feel like those are kid friendly.
mean-
So why would they put that in a kids movie?
There was still a few current
Taylor's
stuff.
version.
All too well.
You know what I
I'll
mean?
put a little John Mayer twist on All Too Well,
BTS.
just to kind of hit all my wickets.
Smooth Like Butter would have been great though.
Smooth like butter. No, it would have been great.
No. And also, if you watch the first one, a lot of them are classic songs. Not necessarily all of them are.
I agree, but also
And
to
they
the
probably
point,
had a push release date. So really, we're talking about music probably from like
2020
or end of 2019. Let's be real. All right, no. That's what someone wrote.
just no.
20
1
minutes
minute.
in the movie, and I straight up stood up and left. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure why you went then.
What a
it's
waste
not
of money.
creative. The movies in the past I've seen with Illumination Company.
1 minute. Let's talk about this
Incomplete
review
sentence.
where the person. So there's spoilers to the review, but their title of their
Are
review
you trying to like?
for a 1-star review. Okay, movie.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, movie. Pointless and plotless. It's not creative. Not great, people.
goodness.
Not great. Behold, Zootopia style.
Anthropomorphized animals.
And listen to a random playlist of songs and a story with little to no depth. Full of cliches and predictable events, too convenient for the plot. There's no excitement, rarely any comedy, an embarrassingly weak story. The only upside is the animations. Oh, and the one of the few singers actually worth listening to, Seth MacFarlane, does not appear in this one.
Seth MacFarlane.
What an absolute shame.
We're talking about the guy who voices all the characters on Family Guy. I don't doubt he's a good singer, but I don't think his voice is good enough to overshadow a lot of the talent that
I mean, when
actually
he
sang.
sang "Did It My Way,"
I
did
did
it
my way.
in the first one, I thought he did great. I'll back you up on there, user.
Yeah.
But I didn't miss him in this one though. Did you?
I mean, I didn't. Which role does he play again?
He plays the little tiny mouse in the first one.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't. He's not even in this one.
I don't think so.
He doesn't even show up.
He might have credit, but I actually don't.
He has credit, but he doesn't show up. He's not in.
I
it.
agree. I don't think I remember ever seeing him.
Unless he voices a different role. It's just a shame that they dropped the mouse.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, user. I agree. User anonymous, because we are just reading a public platform, so you know. All right, babe. Yep, that's the negative Nancy's of the
All right.
world. Gotta love them.
Well, on that note, what you all came for, if you've listened this far, this is exactly why you listen to this podcast, and it's to get our score on the movie on a scale of 1 to 7.
Are you gonna stack them all here? Like
I really should.
that would be
I need
super
to,
cool,
I
so that
need to
people
go
can
back
have a
and grab 'em.
reference.
I need to go back and grab them and make a list of
I
it.
don't think Seth MacFarlane is even credited in this one.
No, probably not.
He's not.
But yeah, okay. So let's get into our scoring. Courtney, I will let you go
Yes.
first because you are a lady and ladies go first.
Okay.
So on a scale of 1 to 7, where are we at? What's up? What's the
Ooh,
move?
I would say probably like a 6. I really liked it for animation.
Okay.
Set the bar pretty high.
No, yeah. Okay. I wasn't gonna go quite as high. I'm at a 5 on this one,
Okay.
but that's, I think, once again, as we've talked about before, as someone who favors Marvel movies that aren't Marvel movies tend to score lower for me, whereas Courtney,
Okay.
Courtney,
Well, I'm thinking in terms of animation that we've seen so far this year. We've seen Encanto
well, that's what I'm saying.
and we've seen Sing. Do I think it was better than Encanto? I think the original story of Encanto is better, and I think the music in Encanto is better. But
But
I think the overall product of this one was really good.
no, I can agree with that. So I
Okay.
guess what I'm trying to say is that Courtney's score is probably better to go off of because I think she's viewing it from a more holistic perspective.
If you're looking at animation, I think it's well worth it.
Whereas I'm like just overall in the grand scheme of the movies we've watched, it's a 5, which is solid.
And there's no plot holes, which is my biggest complaint with Encanto.
What's the plot hole in Encanto again?
I could go on and on. I was just talking to a coworker.
What name one?
Like, okay, so why does Maribel not get a gift in the beginning?
Because she is the gift. She's the house.
But if she's the house, then why doesn't the house know that or say that to her?
Because you don't have to say that to her. It's
The house is still falling apart.
the house is not self-preserving. I don't know.
That's what I mean. There's just a lot. There's a lot of holes.
I thought you were gonna say
If they
something-
do like a mini series, that would be great, and they go into all like
Yeah.
the myths of here you go pitching it to Disney, and they go into all the myths of all these enchantment myths, and kind of give us some backstory. That would be awesome. Is there another house like this? Did this just randomly happen to one person? I don't know.
No,
like,
I remember because
do they have to stand in the water in order for us to come about? Like,
no, I remember because we talked about this when we reviewed Encanto, and we were
there's
like,
so much.
these are only questions that adults would have, which is why the movie works. No, my biggest plot hole in Encanto is why Bruno wasn't voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Nothing against John.
Well, he's always
Leguizamo
in his
Zotto,
movies, right? So
But I feel like Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote that role for himself, and Disney like tied him up in a basement and said, "We're recording Bruno's parts, and you will not be playing him."
we don't talk about Bruno. This is why we don't talk about it.
This is why we don't talk about Bruno. That's why that song was actually written while he was tied up and not recording the role.
This is all mere speculation.
Full disclosure.
With that said, I think Sing is fantastic. Do I think the Academy is going to recognize it and nominate it for Best Animation Picture? I think it'll be
No.
nominated. What else came out this
Well,
year?
actually, I thought you
Yeah,
were going to say
it'll be
it
nominated.
would win. I was going to say,
is it going to win?
Encanto's
Definitely not
going to
win. Yes, for the cultural aspect.
Encanto's
for
front
sure.
runner to win.
The
it.
soundtrack alone is better.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. Original
But-
songs, all that.
But anyway,
What's your rating, babe?
I told you my ratings a 5.
That's right. That's right.
But on that note, I guess we could talk about what we're going to watch next week.
Let's do it.
So, over the course of the next few weeks, here are some movies that we will probably view. First up, we've actually already seen Kingsman
Mm-hmm.
because we like to keep ourselves a week ahead
Yeah.
of the podcast, you know, just in case. That movie, I don't want to dissuade you from seeing it, but I also really want to dissuade you from seeing it. Like,
Yeah. I would give it thumbs down.
I would, yeah.
Your life would be totally fine without it.
It's like the first movie since Cry Macho that I'm kind of like,
Mm,
if I told someone to go see this, it'd be because I really don't like that person.
yeah.
But I also want you to go see it so that you can listen to our next week's podcast.
It's going to be
And-
super cringe, but yeah.
But other than that, there's also Matrix 4, which we've still yet to see. But that's definitely in the queue. Or maybe, who knows? We might not see it. I mean,
Who knows?
we'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
And then
Might read the
there's
negative Nancy's first.
what's it called? Oh, and another one is American Underdog.
I really want to see that one.
American Underdog
Kurt
sounds
Warner?
like it. I love Kurt Warner. I always
I know.
have.
And Zachary.
And Zachary Levi's such a great actor.
Yes. So good.
I'm hype
Flynn Rider
for
forever.
this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly on our short list for
The
upcoming
three.
movies,
What was it?
the 355.
I also really want to see that. It's probably going to be super cheesy. Because when you get like a female powerhouse cast, it can go one or two ways.
This one looks like it's gonna be more in the neighborhood of like Atomic Blonde. It seems like it gives off that vibe,
Mm.
where it's like these are some like really strong and tough females that
Yeah.
go out and they do like cool shoot 'em up stuff, and they're really good
Mhm.
at it. They're like the James Bond of being a female spy.
Yeah, I really want to see it. And I'm excited for it. But I don't want to overhype it and then be let down, if that makes sense.
No, I feel that too. I'm like, it's probably the biggest movie that's gonna release in January. But
Mhm.
if your movie's releasing in January, it's because your studio had no faith in your ability to pull an audience.
Awesome.
So that speaks volumes.
We
to,
also might be talking about The Bachelor.
We might be. No, currently
Because,
working through it. Which
you
episode
know,
are we on?
Oh, I just finished the first episode.
Okay.
So
I've
meeting
been-
all the girls, and I mean, I don't know about you guys, but do you think Sally was there for the right reasons, just to go on TV, just to leave? Do you think she's going to come back? I have not looked at any spoilers,
I mean,
but
I already told Courtney, I think that a lot of these women are at least 25% clout chasing, and then they'll be the
Yeah.
first to down talk a woman who openly says she's clout chasing
They will.
because they don't want her to be there, because then,
well, then it like thins out the competition.
It thins out the competition.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just very catty, and you're looking for any reason to get someone off the show, even though you have the same motivations to be on the show,
hmm
which is love and then also Instagram following.
But we're rooting for you, Clayton.
We're rooting for you. And also, it's been a little tough to not spoil it for Courtney because, as you may or may not know, more than the first episode is out. And as a loyal follower
Okay, only
of,
two episodes.
okay, well, as a loyal follower of David Spade's TikTok, I've been getting the rundown on The Bachelor from a male perspective. And I'll tell you, it's been funny.
Okay. On that note,
Thank you, David Spade. Who knew TikTok needed you?
I met David Spade once at the Grove at
What?
a movie theater.
David Spade's like the hero
He
that
was like going to the movies.
the hero the city needs, but the one it doesn't deserve, or whatever they say in Batman.
I think when I first met him, I was like, "Oh, he's in 8 Simple Rules, right? Is that what it was?"
I'm pretty sure he was in that one.
Yeah.
I want to say.
And I was like, "That's cool." He's like the low life uncle that's like doesn't leave the couch ever.
Is that how you know David Spade? Because I know David Spade from SNL. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I know, but I mean, I know he's done way more, and I do like him,
No, he's a funny guy.
but I
You-
wasn't like starstruck, if that makes sense.
You mean to tell me you've never seen Joe Dirt? Not Joe Dirt 2. We don't talk about it. But anyway,
I have not seen Joe Dirt.
you've not seen Joe Dirt?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. To everyone, I need you to hit the comments up with Joe Dirt so that we can watch it.
Only if there's enough comments.
Yeah. So do your work.
Then we
Social
get out
media.
dirt cups when we watch Joe Dirt.
Oh my gosh. But on that note,
All right.
it's been nice having y'all here in our humble abode. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Like, follow, comment, subscribe, all the things that you
Mhm.
tell people to do at the end of things like this.
Mhm.
I'm on TikTok at JamesRoy_the_noise.
Mm-hmm.
She's on all the other socials at Courtney Dan Ram or Courtney Dan Flo, depending on which one you go on.
Okay. Well, first of all,
Oh, did you change it on Twitter?
Instagram is just Courtney Dan Ram,
Yeah.
and Twitter is Courtney Flores.
Courtney Flores. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to misdirect you guys. But if you want some extra,
I'm a pretty avid tweeter
yeah,
when I watch a movie.
when
That's
she watches
it.
them. Now, be warned, she's not going to be on social media for the next several days. She's fasting it.
I am fasting.
So if you say anything about her, you'll have to rely on me to tell her that you did.
Okay. Well,
So only say nice things. Otherwise, I'm not
Mhm.
going to tell her.
okay. Thank you. I'll just see it when I open up my app. Okay. On that
Just
note,
save it, let
thanks
it all
for
flow in
joining
later.
us.
Thanks for joining us.
We're open to constructive criticism. No doubt.
We are.
Okay.
This has been the Noise Date Night, and I have been James Roy, and this has been Courtney Danielle. Thank you
That's
for
me.
joining us for our premium movie review of Sing 2, and please tune in next week as we review The King's Man. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.